Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video of Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Xayah updated complete guide. Now we haven't really taken a look at Xayah for a very long while, but of course before we really, take that look at Xayah, don't forget to check out Xayah's basic guide I'll put up in the cards above right now for her skills, living order tips and tricks, as well as a couple of combos. But with that said, now let's talk about what changed. Basically, it's pretty simple. In my latest updated complete guide on Xayah, which is out for quite a couple of months now, I think, basically, I thought going for Conquer is the way to go because you have attack speed from Bloodthirster, you have attack speed from Navori, and also, of course, reducing your W cooldown, and you also have attack speed from Blaster, right? So I was thinking that, Conquer is probably going to be better than Lethal Tempo because you probably don't need that attack speed. However, I just think Lethal Tempo is better because you can just get off more feathers, and just get off your damage more quickly. And I don't think Conqueror really just feels as good. I think objectively Conqueror might actually be more damage, maybe, but it definitely doesn't feel as good to play. Doesn't feel as smooth, and sometimes that's what's important, right? So with the build, it's basically the same. You have the Gluttonous Grease for the AD and the Omnivamp. Of course, you have Bloodthirster. You get the nice early game stats. You get the physical vamp. You get the shield. And then, of course, you have the Navori Quick Blades just to reduce the cooldown, especially on your W and your E, your two very important spells. And then you have Blaster. Blaster, of course, gives you that bonus range and gives you that extra, attack speed, extra burst damage, all that good stuff. And of course, you have more reminder for the armor pen and the grievous wounds. Now, last item, very flexible. You normally go for something defensive, such as the Maw of Malmortius, GA items like that. And for the runes, as I spent a long time talking about, you go for a lethal tempo just for the extra attack speed and range, and then you have a standard ADC loadout. And for the spells, you have flash, and ghost is really the best summoner spell for Xayah if you can help it. Very very helpful for kiting people and just repositioning in fights, things like that. But of course, if you really need to go for cleanse, you do want to of course go for that. But with all that said, now let's move on to taking a look at the gameplay. Okay, so now moving on to the gameplay, of course, as usual. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Any questions, queries, remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Of course, I will be sure to address them. So the first thing I kind of want to say here is there is kind of a little bit of egregious gameplay from my side in this particular video because I was playing this game with a very high fever and probably should have been sleeping instead of playing Wild Rift, but I decided to play anyway, and definitely some decision making was not completely there. But yeah, so anyways, here Bart is getting to a very early fight against Lulu and Kaisa, and he's actually winning, right? Bart is really, really strong in the early levels. And yeah, pretty much I think Bart wins against almost anyone in the early levels, which is really, really why it's kind of hard to play against him. Nearly gets the stun onto the wall, onto the Lulu. I'm trading a little bit with the Kaisa. And I do have the level advantage against her because I can see I'm already level 2, but she's not even close because she did miss a couple of minions. And there I'm just trying to get the pull. Kaisa's taking a lot of damage. Lulu has to pop the heal. We get damage onto Lulu as well. And really, really nice aggressive play from the Bard there. We tank a tower shot by accident. And trying to get the pull. And we're tanking minions. I'm not. What are we doing? We just walk into tower and tank a tower shot. The result of playing the game with a high fever, I'm sure. And Bart tries to finish it off, but Lulu's shield is enough to kind of block it. Jarvan now coming in for the dive. Polymorph comes in from Lulu. Bart picks up the kill. And yeah, that was honestly one of the most embarrassing deaths I've had in a very long time. Why did I just randomly walk into the tower when there's no minions tanking the tower? I believe that I saw minions tanking the tower, but that was just an illusion. Because, yeah. So anyways, now we're back in lane. We're going to push in the wave here. Getting a little bit of poke on Kaisa in the meanwhile. Unfortunately, the next wave comes in, which is not great. Because we don't really want this wave to be stuck outside our opponent's tower, frozen outside the opponent's tower. Of course, that will be asking to get ganked if we continue staying here. So we really just want to push this in, which we finally are able to do. for the most part. And Bart with some very questionable shrine placements. We get the root onto the Xayah. Xayah pops the barrier. Jarvan goes in with the ulti. We get the kill onto the Xayah and the Lulu. So nice double there. Really nice lane gank from Jarvan there. Seeing the opportunity and taking advantage of that and netting us 2 kills. Just deny the enemy fruit. And we gotta look for a reset. Now unfortunately once again the wave is kind of stuck at this awkward position. Now Bart is taking advantage of the fact that I'm recalling to look for a role mid where Ryze is very aggressively stepping up. Victor gets the stun onto him, he flashes away, but Jarvan and Bart are both there. Victor eventually picks up the kill. Lulu and Zed are trying to help. Zed goes in with the ulti onto Jarvan, I believe. Jarvan looks fine though. And here right now 1v1 with the Xayah. Now we gotta be kind of careful because even though we're 2 kills up on Xayah and we're like almost 1k gold up on Xayah, Xayah is a very good 1v1 champion, whereas Xayah is not. You can see that here I'm taking a lot of damage, and there actually I think I could have killed her if I actually committed, because I also have barrier this game. Just because I didn't really think the enemy team was very kiteable, so I didn't actually have ghosts. I decided to go for the barrier just for the extra level of safety. I also did not think I needed cleanse, so if I actually played a bit more aggressive, I actually would have killed her 1v2, but of course, as I said, I don't have the reaction time for that because I was having a really high fever, so I'm gonna stop saying that because I'm sure you guys don't want to keep hearing about my high fever, but yeah, it definitely is affecting me this game. And I think after this game I think I went to take a nap, but yeah, so Bart gets off a stun onto the Lulu there, puts shrines in some actual decent positions this time, which allows me to take it for health. And yeah, nothing too exciting is happening. We are just clearing the wave. And Bart with a very nice engage using his ulti. Jarvan follows up the engage. We are basically one-shot the Lulu. I'm not sure why Lulu ulted Xayah when she's the one that was getting focused there. But either way, Lulu dies and Xayah follows straight after. Very nice tanking by Jarvan. Tanks until he can no longer and then resets the aggro. Now Ryze now coming in. But I don't think he wants to be here. Like there's four of us here and we can look to dive him. Jarvan is looking for it, so is Victor. Ryze, realizing he's in trouble, tries to go for the trade onto the Victor, but I'm able to get the kill onto him before he can do anything to Victor. Now Zed goes in, gets a free kill onto the Bard. I get the root down onto the Zed, just kiting him out. Now here comes the two of them, the Lulu and the Xayah, the Xayah. I pop the barrier here and that blocks a lot of damage from Zed, nearly kill the Zed here. Get the kill onto the Lulu. Now I'm focusing the Xayah. Xayah goes down as well with my E, with the last vestiges of my mana. No more mana after that. But I do think that was pretty well played by us. The barrier definitely came in handy to block the majority of Zed's damage. Honestly, I think that the barrier initially was not that great, but Zed just unleashed his whole combo into the barrier, which then made it good. So I guess it's more of Zed misplaying than us playing the barrier very well. But I think the rest of the fight we did play pretty well. We spaced the Zed and pretty much put him at 1 HP, so he had to take a risk if he wanted to continue the fight. And then, of course, Lulu and Xayah overcommitted onto a target who's not me, which then allowed me, of course, to lay down the feathers and then, of course, to get the kills onto them. And here we're able to actually force the tower. Lulu gets caught, gets stunned, gets rooted. Xayah now gonna get slowly run down. She pops the barrier of her own, but there's no way she's getting out there. There's nowhere for her to run. So yeah. In the meanwhile, Victor actually picks up a double kill. We're just going to deny the enemy jungle farm. with this opportunity that we have. We're actually quite close to getting the Navori, I think, so we're just looking for that little bit more farm. See a Skull Crab, we're just going to go for that one. We missed the Q on the Skull Crab. And now we can get the reset and get the Navori. Now we're actually incredibly fed this game. We are the most fed person on the map. We are like, what, 3.5k gold ahead of Xayah, which is like more than one full item ahead, which is kind of insane. And yeah, we're just very far ahead of everybody else as well. I mean, we've been getting a lot of the kills out of all these like bot lane fights, which apparently don't stop happening. So we're in a very, very strong position. Obviously, all we really need to do is to just use our strength, translate our lead to other lanes. So here Ryze has like 0 items, so I'm not overly scared of him. He is doing quite a bit of damage, but here you can see his face rush procs, he procs my shield bow. I'm going for him, but unfortunately Lulu and Xayah are coming in. We pop the barrier, we get the kill onto the Ryze who overcommits, but unfortunately Xayah is able to get the trade off eventually, and yeah, but they both die as well eventually. However, Xayah does get the shutdown, right? She was like 0 and 4 before this, now she's 1 and 5, and she got like the 1k shutdown that I had on my hit, so unfortunately that's not very good. Never really good to give a enemy ADC a huge shutdown. Zed nearly goes in onto my team, but decides not to, which definitely is the correct decision. Now I see a huge bot wave accumulating. I want to get there as quickly as I can. That's probably worth like a kill's worth of gold here. Like this wave plus the next incoming wave is probably worth like an entire kill. So very, very important to farm these waves. Fight is breaking out on the other side of the map, but as I said, like that wave is like guaranteed goal that I definitely want to get. And since the fight is like all the way on the other side of the map, I don't really see the point of going there because I didn't think I would actually reach there. Now looking at the situation now, the fight lasts so long that if I actually started walking across the entire map, I would have actually reached there. And in fact, you can see I'm reaching there just now and the fight is basically ending. So if I was not farming the Skull Crab and the Krugs, I was just walking there, I actually would have reached the fight, which is quite unusual. Normally, it's not a good idea to walk all the way across the map to a fight because normally you're never going to make it. But in rare instances, the fight does last that long. Speaking of which, Set is getting pummeled in the top lane. And I'm assuming the enemy team used most of their tools already because they just got a very long fight. So I'm actually walking in here to see if I can actually get anything done. Not really, but I can at least defend the tower pretty easily. Akshan has to flash away. And we take the Bart portal. Bart trying to get a stun, doesn't actually get it. Xayah really low. One last auto, we get the kill onto the Xayah. Driver now going in onto Lulu. Lulu is dead. Akshan now in trouble. We're able to get the feathers down and get the kill on Akshan as well. So eventually we do punish them for overextending for that kill onto Set. Dragon is alive, Baron is now spawning. We are going to back to get Magnetic Blaster. Ryze is getting caught out by Bart there, but I believe Jarvan and Bart should be able to kill him without my help. So I'm not going to ruin my tempo by interrupting my recall to go for that kill. Instead, I'm just going to go and retrieve my, or not retrieve, but purchase my Magnetic Blaster. Dragon being done by my team. Now, unfortunately, they do Dragon really, really slow because they don't really have the best DPS. So I'm going to come over and just help to DPS the Dragon. Of course, Baron is up, so we want to be cautious of that. Xayah's getting completely caught out. Lulu trying to save her. She flashes away as well. But however, Set is just going to ult her and she goes down. And here are just literally attacking people over the wall while they're in between two towers, which is pretty funny. Now here, I was going to block the Akshan ult for Jarvan, but Bart is doing it instead, so my help not necessary. Z 1 HP. Honestly, I flash Barrier and ult there, so if I really wanted to commit, I could have definitely gotten the kill, but I don't think it's worth committing my tools for the kill. Like, and here Xayah gets caught as well. And Akshan very risky play by Akshan. It nearly gets rooted by me, but barely doesn't. Now just attacking the tower. Of course, side lane inhib, very important. And here I think we've definitely overextended a bit. I definitely want to go back. We're getting pretty low, and our team's getting pretty low as well. But here, I see Set frontlining. I'm thinking that, as long as I have frontline, there's always something that I can do as a backline ADC. However, the mistake comes in here because Ryze now ults in, and now I have really nowhere to go. I try to ult, flash away, but Akshan is ulting me, and there's a Zed over the wall with ulti. I pop the barrier, I pop everything. Flash barrier, ulti, but eventually I do end up dying, which doesn't really surprise me that much. I did think we definitely overextended by a lot there. Definitely should have backed off sooner. Jarvan looks like he's going for the kill onto Akshan. Does get it, but he's now in very, very deep. Which is with a very weird build, by the way. He has Maw and he has a Bork, which I've never seen before. Now the enemy team is doing the Baron, and Jarvan, I'm not sure what he's doing. He's trying to end the game, or what is he doing? But he should be trying to contest the Baron. Now me, Bart, and Victor are going to contest the Baron. Enemy team unfortunately gets it. However, we're gonna try to look for exit kills. We get the first one there. Lulu is 1 HP. Bart, I think, is chasing, and Zed is also on the run. Victor goes to clear the large wave, which definitely makes sense. I'm just clearing the enemy jungle just to get something back since the enemy team did get Baron. Now here, I'm thinking that we can probably kill the Ryze and or the Akshan, but I end up going off way too aggressively, and yeah, I overestimate my strength by a lot, and that was, again, poor decision making from me. I'm not gonna mention why, but here, Set tries to go for a 1v3, and it's actually kind of doing fine. But the problem is now he's run out of spells, and Ryze does not run out of spells. He just presses EQ, and does get the kill onto my teammate. Now Victor is the last one standing against the Ryze and the Lulu. Lulu gets the polymorph. She flashes away. However, Xayah looks like she will cut off his escape. There it is. And Xayah picks up the kill onto the Victor, and my team get aced, which is definitely not good. Honestly, my team has a pretty good lead, but we are kind of throwing the game multiple times, and the enemy team is now kind of getting back into it. So here, I'm just taking a lot of damage from the minions, to be honest. But here, I think Ryze is a bit low and he's out of position, so I'm just focusing the Ryze. He goes down. And now we have Jarvan going in. Bart gets the ult to let us catch up. Set with a very nice pull. We get a triple, I believe. And here I thought Xayah was going to escape through the portal, but turns out she actually gets caught. So again, I'm not going to waste time with chasing down this Xayah, who's definitely going to die because she's like running towards my base. And instead, I'm going to use this opportunity to actually push. And it's just Zed who's trying to stop us here. So I'm thinking we can maybe at least get inhib. Zed trying his best to clear the minions. Does get the clear on the minions, but Zed tanks the tower to allow us to get the inhib. And here we're at 100% crit already. So my team is the Ocean Soul. We're just denying all the enemy jungle farm. So, and another fight is once again breaking out. So here, yeah, Ryze again completely out of position, gets focused by 4 people at the same time, and easily just gets dispatched. Zed now going in onto 4 people at the same time, gets altered by Set, gets killed as well. Akshan now running for the hills. He's 1 HP. I flash forward for the triple. Yeah, you just see like my poor play there. Like I just walk forward and just tank tower like an idiot. And Akshan gets the revive. And now the situation gets a little bit awkward. Now thankfully Victor ult just kills everybody. Victor picks up a quadra kill, and my team's able to end the game after that. But I think I made at least 3 to 4 stupid plays there throughout this entire game, despite being like very fed. But yeah, definitely some questionable plays from me. But there we have it. That's going to be the end of the video. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual, and goodbye.